Today, I will be boring you to sleep. This is like another video I made where I bored you to sleep. And just like that video, the trick to boring anyone to sleep is to talk in a monotone voice with absolutely no inflection and no emotion whatsoever in your voice. I have also brought some things that are very boring, and I have some things up here to tell you that are very boring. I thought about reading Moby Dick, but I didn't think you deserved to be that bored. Same with Dracula. So, the first thing we're gonna read is some ingredients in some very chemicalized, very chemically enriched donuts. These donuts are very rich in sugar and are thus very bad for you, and yet I eat them anyways. Their ingredients include enriched wheat flour, bleached sugar, enriched wheat flour bleached, sugar, dextrose, oil, both soybean and palm, contains 2% or less of buttermilk, defatted soy flour, egg yolks, leavening, baking soda, sodium acid pyrophosphate, natural and artificial flavor, non-fat milk, potato flour, salt, soy, lecithin, spice, yellow 5 lake, yellow 6 lake. There's more, but I'm tore the label apart. The nutrition facts include per 2 donuts, 52 grams or 1.8 ounces, 200 calories, 6 grams of fat, or 8% of your daily value, saturated fats, 3 grams, 0 grams of trans fat, all in all equating to 14% of your daily intake, 30 milligrams of potassium, or 1% of your daily intake, 1% of calcium of your calcium intake, or 10 milligrams, iron, 0.75 milligrams, or 4% of your daily intake, 0% of your vitamin A and vitamin C intake for the day. I'm gonna have to do it now, because watching someone eat is very boring. "100 calories that." The next thing I have to bore you to sleep is sunscreen. Nobody enjoys putting on sunscreen. People enjoy doing things that require you to wear sunscreen, but nobody enjoys actually putting on sunscreen. This is Banana Boat Ultra Sport Sunscreen. High endurance versus sweat and water. For 80 minutes. It has a 30 SPF. The drug facts for full Canadian drug fact table. Visit www.bananaboat.ca/info. Active ingredients in a weight-by-weight measurement form, the stupidest measurement form. Homosalate, 6%. Octosalate, 4.5%. Octocrylene, 4.5%. Avobenzone, 2.7%. Uses: helps prevent sunburn. Warnings: for external use only. Do not use on damaged or broken skin. Keep out of reach of children. Directions: apply generously and evenly by hand 15 minutes before sun exposure. Reapply at least every 2 hours. For use on children less than 6 months of age, consult a healthcare practitioner. Reapply after 80 minutes of swimming or sweating. Reapply immediately after towel drying. Inactive ingredients: aqua, glyceryl stearate, PEG 100, stearate, cetyl alcohol, cetyl dimethicone, propylene glycol, phenoxyethanol, caprylyl glycol, VP, icosine, copolymer, acrylates C12-22, alkyl methacrylate, copolymer biamyl alcohol, sodium polyacrylate. I'm going to stop reading this now because these are chemicals and I find chemicals interesting. And if I start to find them interesting, you might start to find them interesting. So I'm going to stop reading this because you should be bored out of your mind right now. The next thing I'm going to do is the most boring thing to hear someone talk about. The dream they had last night. In the dream I had last night, I was on my grandfather's gravel pit. I was in his gravel pit. A large pit with lots of machines. And we found a sarcophagus with an evil mummy inside. But this isn't like Brendan Fraser's The Mummy. This was much more boring and much worse. Because for some reason I was unable to run. I could make the motions of running, but I could barely move at faster than a walking pace. The mummy, on the other hand, was fully able to move as fast as it wanted, and it was telekinetic, so it could just grab me and pull me towards it. And no matter how hard I ran, I could not escape. I don't remember exactly what happened, but at some point I get inside my grandfather's house, and I'm in the living room, and the mummy is still following me. Why it hasn't caught me yet, I do not know. For all intents and purposes, it should have caught me at the very beginning of the dream, since like I said, I could barely run. How the dream ended, I do not know, but but I think I survived because I'm still here. The mummy kind of looked like that one mummy, or his sarcophagus, I should say, looked like the sarcophagus Pokemon from Pokemon. I forget the one. And he just looked like a very generic mummy, although he had one of those pharaoh headpieces on and one of those pharaoh goatees. But other than that, he was a typical mummy. Like I said, not at all like Brendan Fraser's The Mummy, which was an excellent movie. The next thing I'm going to talk to you about is a debate I have had with my friends that is slowly tearing our friend group apart. This debate is such. You have extra small, you have medium, you have large, and then you have extra large. The debate question is this: what is extra medium? Is it larger than a medium, or is it smaller than a medium? My friends seem to think that it is in the exact dead of medium. Extra medium is the exact center of medium. I have met other people, though, who think that extra medium is a large medium. No one I have met has ever thought that an extra medium is a small medium. I, however, am in an entirely different group. I believe that an extra medium exists in a superposition as both larger and smaller than a regular medium. This is a very controversial take in this argument. However, unlike my friends, I have proved it using math. I will now show you that math to further bore you to sleep. I will go through this now. The first thing I must do is make two assumptions. The first assumption is that if A is less than B and C, and A is less than B, and B is less than C, then it follows that C is greater than A and B. The next thing I'm going to assume is that B is the dead center of small and medium. For the purposes of this, A equals small, B equals medium, C equals large, and X equals extra. Now, A plus C divided by 2 is equal to B. It also stands to reason that A minus X plus C plus X divided by 2 is equal to B. Furthermore, A minus X plus C divided by 2 is equal to B minus X over 2, and A plus C over X equals over 2 equals B plus X over 2. Now, B minus X over 2 must be larger than A, and X cannot be equal to 2 times B minus A. Otherwise, B minus X over 2 is equal to B, and that's not acceptable. X also cannot be equal to 0, otherwise B is equal to A, and that's not allowed. B plus X over 2 is less than C. This has to be true for similar reasons, where X cannot equal 2C minus B, otherwise B will be equal to B, B plus X over 2 will be equal to B, and X cannot equal 0, or B will be equal to C. That's not allowed. Now, because we already know from up here that B is greater than A and B is less than C, we get this. If you were to plot it, where the peaks are where B is most likely to be, extra medium is most likely to be. So right here is where extra medium is most likely to be at the peaks. And it cannot be 0, and it cannot be here, and it cannot be there. Now that is a sine wave. So if you further extrapolate the data, you get this. This is where my math falls apart. Probably. I'm not very good at integral calculus. But by defining A, B, and C and X, you can figure out the area of these two areas. And that will tell you the probability of B. And thus the probability of extra medium. All you need to do is define A, B, C, and X as numerical values. I hope that bored you, but to be sure that you are indeed bored, I'm going to read you one more thing. I'm going to read you the directions on an Xbox game, not the controls, the directions, for use only with Xbox One or Xbox Series X consoles with optical drive. Game disc inside. You must accept the Microsoft Services Agreement. Microsoft.com/MSAL. Requires downloads, significant storage, broadband internet connection, and ISP fees apply. May require additional hardware and subscriptions. Xbox services and support not available in all regions. Xbox.com/regions. Features and online services may vary by region and change or be retired over time. May contain in-game purchases. Requires a Microsoft account. Requires Dolby app and purchase of technology licenses to enable. Warning: some people may experience a seizure when exposed to flashing lights or patterns in video games. Xbox.com/health and safety. Now for the copyright. Copyright Capcom Company Limited 2021. All rights reserved. Resident Evil is a trademark and or registered trademark of Capcom Company Limited in the US and or other countries. The ratings icon is a registered trademark of the Entertainment Software Association. Portions of this software utilize Speed Tree RT technology. 2021 interactive rights reserved. All other trademarks and trade names are the properties of their respective owners. Mature 17 plus. MESRB. Blood and gore. Intense violence. Strong language. I'm not going to read you anything about the game, though, because that would be exciting, because it's a good game. Okay, I hope that has bored you to sleep, and I hope that you are asleep because of how bored you are. Alright. Good night.